Hey guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. Now, in the last couple of weeks, I've had conversations and chat with, families, individuals, who are looking at getting a work visa in order to help them stay back in the United Kingdom. And there's been like loads of, challenges and issues, while trying to get this sorted out. So many people actually, caught in between two extreme end options, that require so much level of financial commitment. And, we have to like come to conclusion with certain charts, and there's some other charts that need the family to go back to their drawing board and sit down, look at the pros and cons of the options, they've had, which we've, are placed before them. We have to even contact an immigration lawyer at some point in order to like give a more, legal, opinion and advice, and just to help the family make a better informed decision on the long term, not just for themselves but also for the children involved and all of those interesting stuff. So for those who are looking at getting a work visa, you're on a post-study work visa, you're on a student visa, there are usually like two major options available for people, especially for those who are not highly skilled and they don't have the time, the financial commitment to learn new skills. There are usually like two options, and this video is just going to talk about the two options, the pros and cons, and also what your thoughts are basically about which of the options do you think is best. If you've got family, which of the two options is best? If you're a single person, well, I'd like to hear all of your thoughts in the comment section. And if you're coming across this channel for the first time, I share everything UK immigration policies, transitioning into tech and lifestyle, updates on this channel. And if you'd like to join the family, click on the red subscribe button. And if you're coming across this channel for more than once, you've watched a couple of my videos and you still haven't subscribed, so that you will need to come on, click on that red subscribe button. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. For the last couple of months now, most of my conversation with individuals on my one-to-one session has always been about the UK work visa. How are they going to get a visa? What are the skills they need to learn? And all of those interesting things. And it's quite sad because it gets a little bit complicated when you've got families. I mean, when you've got a wife, you've got children, it gets a little bit technical because of the limited option that becomes available, if that makes sense. And a couple of weeks ago, I had a chat with a family, and they're caught between two options. So one of the option was that they both work in care. The husband and the wife, they're both carers, and one of them had the option. I think it was so they both. Yeah, the good thing was that they both had the option of getting um a care visa. However, the condition given by the employer, even though it's illegal, but the option given was that they will be required to pay about 14 to 15,000 pounds before they can issue them the COS. Of course, it's illegal, but what can you do about it if that's the only option you've got? But I just felt it wasn't a good idea because, based on my own personal experience, many of the people who have, gotten COS, paid COS, in most situations, a couple of months down the line, over a year down the line, they end up getting their COS revoked. I mean, their visa revoked by the Home Office for various reasons. The most common ones are it's either the employer loses their license, or they find some irregularity on the COS issued and all of that. So it wasn't like really my advice for them to go with that option. However, if that's the option available, it's important to actually table the option and have a conversation about it, talk about the pros and cons. And which one of the challenges is that the possibility that the visa might be revoked in the next couple of months, next couple of years, if the UK Home Office find any irregularities on the application. Anyway, so they would have the option by the employer that they were going to get the COS. However, they will need to pay about 40 to 50,000 pounds for the COS. Now, the second option was that the wife was one who came into the UK to study, and the plan was that, okay, if they don't want to go to that route, would they be willing to pay the 14,000 to 15,000 pounds on a PhD program here in the UK? Now, that gets a little bit tricky because the 40,000 to 50,000 pounds for the PhD program is probably just going to cover the first year. I mean, you still have about 2-3 years left on the PhD program that you need to pay the same exact amount of money for those periods. So the question now is, what are the options available? Which one is actually advisable to go for? Should they pay the 50,000 pounds one-off and get on the what's it called, on the health and care visa that allows them to, it was It's more of like a support role. So the partner and the children can move on the visa. Now, the second option was should they go for the PhD program and the partner will still get a chance to work, and at least having a PhD is going to increase the wife's academic qualifications, at the same time allow them to stay back in the UK to make to buy enough time to like make a better decision along the way. Now, these are the pros and the cons of going for this. Now, for the health and care visa, if they decide to go for the health and care visa, as I said earlier, one of the major challenges with it is that what if the Home Office decide to withdraw their application later in the future if they discover that they actually did pay for that COS? Or what if the employer, because any employer that requires you to pay for COS, it means that there's something shady about their business, to be honest. I mean, this COS is issued absolutely free by most employers. So any employer asks you to pay for it, it means that there's something on the background that is not really right. So there's possibility that they are doing something wrong also as a business, and there's an high chance of the UK Home Office eventually revoking their license to sponsor. And if this happens, if your employer loses a license, everyone on that particular license sponsor's license would potentially lose their visa. And most times when you get that letter, I mean, it's a dreadful letter. You get a letter telling you you have just 60 days left to spend in the UK. If you don't want to go back to your home country, you will be forced or required to get a new job that will take over that sponsorship, which is not really a good position for anyone to be in the UK. Trust me, I've had conversation with people who were in that situation, and it was a nightmare. I mean, emotionally, financially, on every side, you're going to be stressed. All right. So that's one of the most issues with that particular option. Now, the positive side of that option is that if they go on the health and care visa through this route, they're going to save a lot of money in terms of like visa costs. So in that situation, they wouldn't need to pay IHS fee. That's has automatically saved the family, almost 9 to 10,000 pounds on IHS fee. And in my opinion, I think this is one of the things that these employers are using as leverage, saying that, oh, see, if I give you this visa, you're going to pay me this amount of money because you're saving that same amount of money on IHS fee. And because of the desperation of so many immigrants looking for visa sponsorship, many people end up going for this, and the percussion on the long run is usually not a good one. So the advantage of getting on the health and care visa, so if you get an employer or you work with an employer that wants to give you for free, it's a good thing. It saves you a lot of money on visa cost. I mean, if you've got family, it's a massive deal. I mean, you're going to save loads, tens of thousands of pounds on IHS fee alone if you're able to get the health and care visa. But if you need to pay your employer to get it, it's a little bit shady. I wouldn't advise you do so because of the risk that comes on a later date. And if you paid 50,000 to get a visa and 1 year after, and this is saying this from a practical angle, I've had people that had the situation 1 year after paying, 12,000 pounds, 30,000 pounds to your employer, and the Home Office withdraw the COS. You can't go back to your employer to collect back your 12,000 pounds. It's gone. You've paid for it. You've gotten what you paid for. So it's really important to make sure that you think this through before going ahead. It's a whole lot of money to pay for a visa that is not guaranteed for anything, if that makes sense. Okay, so those are the pros and cons of going on the health care visa. Now, the second option we had was PhD. I mean, PhD is extremely expensive. So if they're going for the PhD, they're going to pay the 15 grand on the whole what's it called, tuition fee. And also, I think this was the part that the family didn't consider until we talked about it. I can imagine they're under a lot of pressure, so they probably aren't thinking very much straight. And if you go for a PhD, you pay 15,000 pounds, then you also need to also consider the visa cost. So at that point, if you get a 3 years PhD, it means that you will be required to pay IHS fee for 3 years individually, and for each person is about 3,100. For a family of three, that's 9,300, and that's excluding visa application fee, which is going to be a whole lot. So if they're going for the PhD, the budget wouldn't be the 15,000 pounds for the tuition fee. The budget would be close to about 30,000 pounds for the first year. They still have the second year tuition fee to pay, which is probably going to be around 15,000 also, and the third year tuition fee to pay, which is also around 15,000 pounds. So for the whole duration of the period of the PhD, you're looking at a budget of 60 to 70,000 pounds on fees, and this is excluding living expenses. Of course, they're going to rent a house, they're going to feed, they're going to take care of themselves, and all of that. Pay electricity bill, pay a lot of bills on the side, and by the time they go on PhD, only one person will be able to work a whole lot. The other person will be focused on PhD, doing research, doing coursework, and it's going to be a whole lot of mess. So the question is, which of these options do you think they should go for? putting in mind that the health and care visa comes with a clause that they need to pay the employer before they can get it. So if you're in that situation, or you know someone who is in that situation, what did they do? What would you have done if you're in that situation? Please tell those things in the comment section. The family will be watching because we had a chance to just hear people's opinion. Of course, we've spoken to the immigration lawyer, but just want to hear people's opinion based on first-hand experience and how they're able to navigate similar situations like this. So you can still those thoughts in the comment section. And if you're coming across this channel for the first time, do want to hit on the subscribe button to join the amazing growing family. And my returning subscribers, thank you guys for being here. I really do appreciate you guys. So this will be the end of this video, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you.